If A, B, C, D are four numbers, if the ratio between A is to B equal to C is to D, then we can say A, B, C, D are in proportion. Okay, so ratio की जब इक्वालिटी होती है, like the ratio between A is to B is equal to C is to D, then we say then A, B, C, D are in a same proportion. Okay, here A and D are called extremes. Okay, and B and C are means. So here A upon B is equal to C upon D. It means A into D is equal to B into C. So if there are four numbers in proportion, then multiplication of extremes is equal to the multiplication of means. This is proportion. I think it is clear. Let us take, there are three numbers A, B, C. And these three numbers A, B, C are in proportion. So if A, B, C are in proportion, then A is to B must be equal to B is to C. Right? And here, this A upon B is equal to B upon C, B square is equal to AC, B is square root of A into C. So if there are three numbers in proportion, this middle number B is what? It is a mean proportion. So here B is a mean proportion. What mean? So these are two important results related to proportions. For example, there are two numbers, 4 and 60. And you have to find the mean proportion for 4 and 16. So 4 and 16 mean proportion means it is like this. So B is a mean proportion, means B square is equal to 4 into 16. So B square is 2 into 4 means 8. Right? 8 is a mean proportion of 4 and 16. You can check it that as per the definition of proportion, if we put here this 8 between 4 and 16, then B square is equal to the product of extremes. So got it? I think it is clear. So if there are four numbers A, B, C, D in a proportion, then the ratio between A is to B is equal to C is to D. It can be represented as A is to B this way also. Right? Proportions. Four numbers are in proportions can be represented as A is to B and this is C is to D. So now it is clear. The product of extreme is equal to the product of means A upon B is equal to C upon D. So here if the three numbers A, B, C are in a proportion, then A is to B is equal to B is to C, and in this case the B is a mean proportion, right? And B square is equal to AC, so B is root AC. If A upon B is equal to B upon C equal to C upon D equal to D upon E, it means A is to B is to C, D, E are in same proportion. Means A is to B will be equal to B is to C equal to C is to D equal to D. So you can understand if A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D is equal to D upon E, right? It means they are in continued proportions. इसको क्या कहेंगे हम? Continued proportion. Now see this invertendo. So if A1, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then invertendo means A upon B is equal to C upon D. You can write it as V upon A is equal to D upon C. It is called invertendo. And A upon C is equal to V upon D. This is called alternative. Component. If A is to B is equal to C upon D. Then if we add 1 left hand side, right hand side both, then A upon B plus 1 is equal to C upon D plus 1. I mean to say will be A plus B upon B equal to C plus D upon D. This is component. Okay. If I subtract 1 from both sides, like A upon B minus 1 and this C upon D minus 1, then this is A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon B. This is called dividend. And if I divide this by this, like A plus B, B, and this A minus B by B, and the C plus B by D, C minus D by D, then this will cancel. So this A plus B upon A minus B is equal to C plus D upon C minus D. It is componendo and dividendo. Now see some interesting rule related to proportion. If AX is equal to BY is equal to CZ, then X is to Y is to Z is 1 upon coefficient of A is to 1 upon coefficient of Y and 1 upon coefficient of Z. Okay, this way you can find the ratio of X to Y to Z directly. Okay, let us understand it with this example. Suppose 2x is equal to 3y is equal to 5z. If 2x is equal to 3y is equal to 5z, then find the ratio of x is to y is to z. So let 2x is equal to 3y is equal to 5z is equal to constant k. So if I take 2x is equal to k, then x is equal to k by 2. Same way, if I take 3y is equal to k, then y is k by 3. And 5z is equal to k, then z is k by 5. So now the ratio x is to y is to z is k by 2, k by 3, and k by 5. K is a common factor, so you can remove it. So this is x is to y is to z is 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3, 1 upon 5. This is means the ratio between x is to y is to z is the coefficient of reciprocal of coefficient of a is to reciprocal of the coefficient of b, the coefficient of y and the coefficient of z ka reciprocal. So you can do it directly. If a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2 like this. And suppose all these ratios are equal to k. Then a1 plus b1 plus c1 upon a2 plus b2 plus c2 will equal to k. Remember this. This is very, very important result and will be highly applicable in the question of ratio and proportions. So here the ratios a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. But sometimes if ratios are not equal, then the value of k will be greater than the minimum ratio and lesser than maximum ratio. Minimum ratio and maximum ratio. Okay. So if these ratios are not equal to each other, then this k will be equal to the k will lies between the minimum ratio and maximum ratio. So this is also a very important concept. Understand it. Okay. And now see the variation. If x is directly proportional to y, then x is equal to Q.A.I. Right? And if it is a matter of inverse proportional, then we write it. If x and y are inversely proportional to each other, then we write this way. Means x is equal to k into 1 upon y. So if there are two numbers, x and y, dependent to each other, means if x, if there is a change in x, then it leads change in y also. How this change will occur? For this, we see the relation between x and y. If x is directly proportional to y, then we write x is equal to ky. If it is inversely proportional to y, then we write x is equal to k upon y, right? Directly proportional means if one increase, then second will increase. If one decrease, then second will decrease. But in an inversely proportional, it means if one increase, then second will decrease. If the first decrease, then second will increase. This is a direct proportion and inverse proportion. Okay. Let's take the mixed proportions. So like uh, if x is directly proportional to y and x is inversely proportional to z, then you can write x is directly proportional to y upon z. We call it mixed proportions. Let us understand some important rule of variation. Number one, if A is directly proportional to B and B is directly proportional to C, it means A is directly proportional to C. Okay. If A is directly proportional to B, okay, if A is directly proportional to C and B is also directly proportional to C, then A plus B will directly proportional to C or A minus B directly proportional to C. Okay. Third, if A is directly proportional to B and C is directly proportional to D, then in this scenario, A into C will directly proportional to B into D. These are some very important results. You have to understand and learn it. If very important application you will have in your variation-based questions. If A is directly proportional to B, then A to the power n will directly proportional to B to the power n. Okay. Similar, if A is directly proportional to B, then A into K, this constant se multiply by A into K directly proportional to B into K. So these are some important uh, applications, some important results of variations, and you can use at the time of calculation. Let us discuss this important formula of variation. So here is a group of men, and all men of this group are equally efficient. If a man can do a piece of work in 10 hours, so any other man of this group will finish the same piece of work in 10 hours. Okay, so means all men of these groups are equally efficient. So if I take M1 number of men from this group and they do work for D1 days. So in D1 days, they finish work W1. So if I take M2 men, M2 number of men from this group, and they work for D2 number of days, and they finish in D2 number of D2 days work W2. Then there is a relation M1 D1 into W2 is equal to M2 D2 into W1. This is a relation. And in another scenario, suppose these M1 number of men from this group work D1 days and daily they work T1 hours. And here M2 number of men from this group in D2 days while working T2 hours daily finish W2 work. Then in this case, the formula will be M1, D1, T1, W2, M2, D2, T2, W1. So these are two formulas, very, very important and very, very helpful in this ratio proportion chapter. So this is what here it is. M1 D1 W2 is equal to M2 D2 W1. And this M1 P1 D1 into W2 is equal to M2 T2 D2 W1. So now all the conceptual understanding of ratio proportion is over. After this, in next video, we will do the question. We will solve some examples on the basis of given input of the concept of ratio proportions.